Oh, very proud of her. You know, she wouldn't have to do this for me to be proud of her, but this just adds to it. You know, I'm proud of everything she does. She's a beautiful, lovely young woman.
Thank you, Mama.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to go deep into some truths about Aaliyah's mother, Diane Haughton. Done tastefully, of course, not meant to bash her in any way. So many have trashed her name without even knowing her backstory. But did y'all know there were still recent chapters of the surviving RK series? They're on Netflix right now. I'm calling him RK since YouTube is sensitive with this topic. One recent episode I watched was dedicated to Aaliyah, named Jane Doe #1, as she was referred to in his trial. She was named over 300 times in regards to prosecutors and survivors telling her story and bringing her justice with the scandal of that first album. This scandal, I'm sure we're all aware of by now. Something mentioned that stuck was when one of the investigators claimed there are answers only Barry Hankerson and Diane Haughton can give. As expected, both had declined to be in the documentary, as they would have to give answers to some hard questions for their sake. I've talked about Aaliyah's uncle Barry Hankerson many times, which I'll include links to above and in the description box. But what about Aaliyah's mother? Diane Hankerson was born in New York on January 11th, 1951, a few days before Aaliyah's birthday. Her only brother being Barry Hankerson, who would eventually become the entertainment manager and record label owner to create Blackground Records for Aaliyah's music career to prosper. And Diane would go on to marry Michael Haughton and have two children, Rashad, born in 1977, Aaliyah, born 2 years later in 1979. Diane did at first have aspirations of being a professional singer in the music industry, but put those dreams on hold to become a stay-at-home mother and raise her two children, while Michael continued to work in the warehouse industry in Detroit. As Aaliyah grew older, she showed a huge interest in singing, even starring in school musicals. Diane would help Aaliyah develop her natural talents by introducing her to music by Johnny Mathis, Stevie Wonder, and Barbra Streisand, enrolling her to take vocal lessons. This led up to Aaliyah being on Star Search at age 10, where she came in second place. Then doing some shows with Gladys Knight, her aunt, who was married to Barry Hankerson at one time. At age 12, Aaliyah's uncle began shopping her around to big record labels who had all declined to sign her as an artist, with notions that she wasn't ready at the time. As mentioned earlier, this led Barry to create his own label, Blackground Records, with Aaliyah being his first major artist. He simultaneously managed rising R&B star RK at the same time, which is when he first introduced him. Again, Aaliyah was only 12. As time passed, Aaliyah's talents further got developed at the Detroit School for the Fine and Performing Arts, where she took more vocal lessons and majored in dance, performing at many of the school's talent shows. From the mind of Barry Hankerson came the idea for RK to write and produce Aaliyah's debut album, AJ Nothing But a Number, which became a platinum success, launching Aaliyah into superstardom. Diane had no choice but to support Aaliyah's fast-growing career. I mean, this is what they always wanted. As detailed in the documentary, Aaliyah's family was described like the Huxtables, very loving and supportive of Aaliyah. Aaliyah's mother even becoming her manager and going with Aaliyah on various tours to promote her album. She instilled in Aaliyah that her education was still important regardless of her professional success.
Education is important too. She's an A student, by the way, and we're very proud of that. But we think she's just a beautiful young lady who's intelligent, talented. It's gonna go all the way.
Aaliyah made everyone proud, graduating from high school with a perfect 4.0 GPA and 2 multi-platinum albums under her belt. So Aaliyah's mother was there with her, as was her father and her brother Rashad. So what happened? Through court documents and interviews from RK's camp, there was talks of how Aaliyah's parents were groomed into believing she was fully protected under his care when they weren't able to make all of her tour dates and appearances. Diane had grew a liking for him, honestly, and after all, Aaliyah was also under the guidance of Diane's brother, Barry Hankerson. Of course, he wouldn't let anything happen to her successful niece, so they thought. The truth is that Diane was not always with Aaliyah in the early stages of her first album promotions. RK was able to take full advantage in the moments they were essentially alone. After their marriage was broadcasted in Vibe magazine, Aaliyah's parents quickly had the marriage annulled and an NDA was signed, preventing Aaliyah or her parents from ever talking about it again. In exchange, Aaliyah's parents got revenue from RK's first 3 albums, which some have estimated to be about $3 million. In the first chapters of the documentary, many backup dancers and singers would come out saying they saw this and saw that happen on the tour buses between RK and Aaliyah. Through Aaliyah's legacy social media accounts, Diane would quickly refute these claims, calling them all liars, saying some of them didn't even know Aaliyah. In the recent chapters of the documentary, pictures of Aaliyah were shown laughing and posing with these same women when they were all teenagers, proving they did in fact know her. This led to the outrage of many fans and viewers saying Diane was guilty and trying to hide something. There was even speculation that Diane had a deeper relationship with RK, as one of his ex-girlfriends claimed in an interview. But no concrete evidence has ever been revealed to seal this as a fact. I did a video about this a few years ago as well. There has always been a mystery surrounding Diane and just how much she knew about the scandal of Aaliyah's first album before the public was made aware. Just how much was she actually involved in Aaliyah's day-to-day dealings with RK before being forced into secrecy and silence with the NDA? We will never know unless she decides to come forward and tell her side of the story, but it's looking like that may never happen. Sad but true to say, in Aaliyah's story, there's a lot of woulda, shoulda, couldas. Especially after Aaliyah's tragic and unexpected death, she basically disappeared from the public eye and became a recluse. Aaliyah even once said herself that Diane always came with her to almost every photo and music video shoot, but having eye surgery prevented her from going to the Bahamas with Aaliyah that August of 2001. Then the unimaginable would happen. That is a pain we will never truly begin to understand, being in Diane's shoes. Diane even held on to Aaliyah's condo for almost 10 years until she eventually sold it. She wanted to hold on to anything that reminded her of Aaliyah, and it's been said she always had a hard time listening to her music afterwards. Around 2012, Diane and Michael were living in upstate New York when Michael suddenly became really sick and unfortunately passed away, leaving Diane to be a widow with more grief to overcome. There's so much more to the story, but the truth lies within Diane to tell. She even cut off all communication with Barry Hankinson after Aaliyah's tragic accident with the wrongful death lawsuit she filed. In promotion for the re-release of Aaliyah's music on streaming services 20 years later, Barry has threw Diane under the bus a numerous amount of times, even hinting at a special connection she had to RK, which he says only she could really answer questions about. As of now, Diane has given no such answers, and she has the right not to. However, she did show disapproval for Aaliyah's new music release. This left many fans, including myself, feeling conflicted about what to think, how to feel, and what to actually support. It's still an ongoing battle between Diane and Barry, with many missing puzzle pieces. Only they can connect. In the end, I think about it like this. Without Diane Haughton, there would literally be no Aaliyah. Not only that, because Aaliyah's mother raised her to be the way she did, we knew Aaliyah to be as humble, down to earth, and sweet as she showed us to be. So many people in the music industry who even reach a pinch of Aaliyah's success lose their way and change for the worse. But as Aaliyah's brother once said, no matter how big she got, she was never gonna leave us behind. Regardless of what happened with the scandal around her first album, they all had a strong family unit, and Aaliyah loved her mother very much. It's best that some of us practice grace while examining this dynamic, because let's face it, we all have our own issues within our own families. It's just that ours is not under a microscope for people to dissect in the public. Honestly speaking, Aaliyah to us is a very beautiful singer who we love not only because of her looks, but her natural talent and personality. We will forever ponder on the potential heights Aaliyah's career could have reached. However, to Diane, Aaliyah was her daughter, her flesh and blood. This young woman who she not only raised from birth and witnessed have an amazing career in the harsh music industry, but lost in such a devastating and preventable way. Yes, there are many unanswered questions in what she approved and what she allowed, but I don't think that takes away from the genuine love they have for each other. As the saying goes, no parent should have to bury their child. It's almost unspeakable to imagine what Aaliyah's mother really went through when she found out what happened the way it happened. Many parents make sacrifices putting their children in the entertainment industry so young. Unfortunately for Diane, those sacrifices didn't always turn out with the best results. Although Aaliyah is physically gone, we will forever have her classic music and interviews to remind us of the gracious and talented woman Diane Haughton raised her to be. As of this video, Diane is currently 72 years old and she may be currently living in California. I just hope that she's living the best way she knows how and that Aaliyah and Michael are watching over her. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching and listening. I'll see y'all in the next video.